on the track for a little green bag. Got to find just the kind, or I'm losing my mind. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in the day. Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in the day. Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way. Looking back. Looking for some happiness, but there is only loneliness to find. Jump to the left, turn to the right. Looking upstairs, looking behind. Yeah. Looking for some happiness, but there is only loneliness to find. Jump to the left, turn to the right. Looking upstairs, looking behind.
No, I don't know. I've never heard that. I think I blocked that out. What do you?
Why do you hate Cyndi Lauper so goddamn much,
I
Matt?
don't. I like her. Like, have you ever seen the movie Vibes? I thought she was fun in that.
But she's
I
not
just
allowed
don't
to have
like her
fun.
singing. Of course she can have fun. I just don't like.
Welcome to the Reservoir Slobs, everyone.
Howdy, folks.
Fall for it every time.
Except this time, everyone got to watch you realize you've fallen for it.
I know. It's just,
I didn't even actually have to play Girls Wanna Have Fun. I just went to your little green bag, and you did all the work for us.
Am I that predictable?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't realize I'm that predictable. I'm just saying. I don't. Anyway. Hi everyone. Since we're all here, how you doing?
Are we all here?
Don't don't do this to me, Blackout. Come on. I was trying to.
Rat is never all here. We know this.
No, I'm not. But I don't even know what to do now. I was trying to make an intro and be like, "Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reservoir Slobs." And no, just gotta throw a wrench into that. Just say something and watch me fall apart live on stream. Just
It's like
flailing
every
about,
time. It's like we wait for you to be down there in the gears of the machine, covered in oil, frustrated, hitting everything with a wrench, and then we open with it just there.
Yeah.
Why won't you work?
Yeah. It's like percussive maintenance, except you guys wait till it's past that point, and I'm like swearing and why doesn't anything happen right?
No.
Yeah.
I usually start early enough that we get the context of why everything is going to shit.
Well, yeah. Well, you'll just have to guess why I don't want to listen to Cyndi Lauper. Okay, let's just leave it at that. This is
He
we're supposed to be
doesn't
talking
like
about
girls
movies.
having fun at all.
Oh, come on! It just
Just have fun, right?
I don't know. It's just. It was like nails on a chalkboard when I first heard it, and it's been that way ever since. I can't
Look on the bright side, Rat. The other option was I went and found the soundtrack for Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
No. We don't need that either. That was not a
Okay,
good
well,
soundtrack either.
could take Grease 2 then.
No. I don't want to.
You know
I'm
what
not.
they say? Let's roll, let's rock and roll.
Well, roll into talking about whatever we're going to talk about instead of watching me suffer through horrible memories.
Well, first, let's greet the chat.
Yeah, there. I don't.
Now that they've all watched you have your meltdown.
I don't even know what we're supposed to be doing right now. All right. Okay.
Put yourself together. I'll take over for a moment.
Thank you.
And let's see, we've got Ghastly watching. Welcome, Ghastly. Ghost Dog 999. Welcome. The Cunt, as we all know, Lord Byron. Fantastic
Hey,
artist. Still did my favorite piece of artwork ever. Eric Pug, who is also a fantastic artist. K Shill, welcome. Disky Fringo, welcome. And that looks like everyone right now. And Byron says, Mamma Mia?
You know, I don't know that. I've never seen it.
First one terrible, second one passable.
You
Wasn't
see,
Meryl Streep in that?
I think
First one,
there's
yeah.
like a third one coming out now or something too.
Why?
I don't know.
We don't need the first one to begin with.
Like, all I remember of the plot of the first one is this girl doesn't know who her real father is because her mother was a whore. And she basically invites all of the men that could have been her father to an island to, I don't know, sleep with her mom again. I don't know the plot beyond that.
Sequel is basically a prequel, which follows the story of how she ended up in bed
Oh,
with
so it's just her
Steve.
being a whore.
Yes.
Okay.
This just
Well-
yeah, that sounds convoluted. No, the only reason I didn't watch it is because, well, I heard that Meryl Streep was in it. I'm not a real big fan of her, actually.
She can do all right.
The best movie I ever saw her in was Adaptation with Nicolas Cage playing like the twin brothers.
Mm.
And I I've just never really enjoyed her in a lot of her stuff. I don't know. I mean, she can act. I just personally don't like her. So, but anyway, yeah, and I don't know the music from Mamma Mia at all. So, I don't really want to find out either. So, because
It's
I don't know
ABBA.
what
It's ABBA.
it is.
Yes, they made Mamma Mia.
Okay, I don't know what that means either. I don't think I've really listened to ABBA that much.
Well, that's fair.
So, yeah,
You're an
blame you.
American. All we know is Dancing Queen.
I know that.
Uh,
And I don't really see what the big deal is, but
no, they were big back in the 70s.
well, I'm not that old.
Well, they kind of caught on here in the
Hey.
U.S. kind of late
80s?
80s, early 90s.
Yeah, 80s, 90s, yeah. And they got popular for a good while and then stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
So-
all right. It's very pop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's music.
Music is subjective.
I am not a dancing queen. I don't have the ankles to dance.
He doesn't have the cartilage in his ankles to learn how.
No, they're too far gone at this point. So yeah. But
If you've ever had a loose floorboard, that's effectively what rats' ankles sound like.
God, yeah, I don't want to go into that.
It's terrible at going stealth.
Yeah, well, my ankles click every time I take a step. It's just part of life at this point. I've just learned to accept it. I'm actually worried about when they stop clicking. That's when I'll be really concerned. So if I just figure, oh, there's no more bones left. Oh, great. That's not good. So,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
think we've stretched
so-
that as long as we can.
Well, yeah, well, this is a good segue into disappointments, isn't it? So,
Yeah, that's our erstwhile theme for today's stream is disappointing movies after we watched a fairly disappointing sequel.
yeah. Yeah, well,
Yep.
it was the sequel to Cast a Deadly Spell, which we hadn't seen and we thought was actually pretty good. Like, that was a pretty entertaining movie.
I liked that movie.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Cast a Deadly Spell was fantastic. Sequel, Witch Hunt, not so much.
Yeah, pretty much recast, like, not really new, different, a continuation of the story, but everything else was changed out.
Yeah. I
Fred
think the
Ward
only
wasn't
cast
there
member
anymore.
that was the same was Hippolyta.
Yeah, and like, yeah, because I can't. Philip Lovecraft or whatever,
Yeah.
H. Philip Lovecraft. That was originally Fred Ward, and they changed out for Dennis Hopper. And you would think that would make things more interesting, but it really didn't.
No, freaking Hopper was just like wood through the entire movie.
Yeah, a lot of the performances in this were kind of wooden and just very stiff. I'm acting, there was like it didn't really work. I don't know.
Yeah, and through the whole thing, Hopper just gives off this lost grandpa feeling.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that a movie about he's supposed to be a private detective working a case, and he's just kind of bumbling through it, stumbling upon all these different situations.
Hell, he's not even really detecting a damn thing.
No, not really. You never really see him ever do any like real investigative work at all.
Nope.
And I mean, if your character's if your character's supposed to be investigating something, at least show it a little bit. At least set it up.
Honestly, I kind of forgot that he was a detective until I reminded myself that about an hour in. Just wait, he's supposed to be a detective.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a fucking courthouse or like a courtroom drama.
Yeah, the whole McCarthyism thing.
Yeah, because magic is that's the whole thing about the whole world is that magic is freely used everywhere, and now they're trying to turn into this courtroom thing. The senators got this plot of trying to do anti-magic stuff, and
apparently they've just forced through some law that allows them to just publicly execute a witch.
Yeah, and they didn't even. I mean, there wasn't even a trial. There was it's like this. It was like the McCarthy hearings, and she was found guilty, and they're just like, "Oh, we'll just burn her at the stake," because of the hearings. It was
in front of the American flag.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. Not gonna lie, it was like, this is just bad. It was bad.
Yeah, and the whole McCarthy thing takes place like an hour into the movie already, and you haven't had a damn thing happen.
It's just been dialogue, wooden dialogue.
Yeah.
Wooden dialogue, very little magic, and what we did see of any attempt at magic was really just terrible CGI. Nothing like the practical effects from 3 years earlier.
Yeah, like in the first movie, they had the guy pouring it's like the bottle of champagne with the string holding the glass, but it was a floating glass, and he was pouring it. That was in the first movie, and even though that's a kind of predictable practical effect, it looked good on screen. They didn't even have that hardly in this sequel.
It really adds to the world building.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be magic. There's no fucking magic in this film at all. Like, okay, there were maybe some weird late 90s text effects during one scene where they brought William Shakespeare to the future.
That was one of the worst movie effects I think I've ever seen. Yeah,
she speaks words and they turn into just
floating
text in the air, and it just starts spinning around. It was bad. Like, the only real CGI effect that I thought kind of worked was when she went to like take her safe deposit box, and she just like puts it into the mirror, and the mirror kind of morphs like liquid. That was kind of a cool effect, but
that's also one of the easiest effects in the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult.
Little talked about thing, when it comes to visual effects like that, mirrors make it super fucking easy to edit.
Yeah, and it just didn't. That was like really the extent of the magic that was ever done in the movie. And you'd think the whole story being about magic users, and that there really wasn't a whole lot of it. Well, up until pretty much the end of it, then there was some magic used, but
well, again, I think why I liked the ending was because practical effects showed up for like 2 minutes, and I like, oh, I missed those.
Yeah.
And you've hit it there, Byron. Sounds like when they did superheroes but didn't want to have them in their costumes. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. It's a magical world in name alone, because we had this whole scene where he's got this witch in training or whatever the hell she is that can hear the memories of items. So she's just walking around listening to items in the murder scene.
Yep.
I completely forgot about that plot line.
It's the only point where he does any real detective work, because he sits there and he looks at all the stuff and realizes that they've even wiped down the champagne bottle.
Yeah,
that
but
was-
that only happened like once in the movie, or twice.
Yeah, and he goes and finds the broken martini glass stem in the tub.
In the bathtub, yeah, in the bathtub. Yeah, that was, but that was the thing. That little bit of detective work that he did, he had other people helping him, and that whole scene maybe lasts 3 minutes. Maybe. It's really short.
The scene is more for the exposition of why he doesn't use magic.
Yeah. Yeah, because he won't use magic himself. But they're explaining that away more than they are really focusing on the detective work that should be going on. And that, yeah, it just, as the movie went on, it seemed like everyone there was kind of, everyone that was with it was watching was kind of like, can we just speed this up?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wanted it over, and I was like, no, we've already sat through the better part of an hour of it. We're gonna finish it, and we're not gonna speed it up. You can suffer with me.
Sadly,
So-
the end of the movie is probably the best point in it.
Yes, yes, it is.
That's the worst of it. You could have skipped the whole. It's an hour and a half. What, hour and 36 minutes?
Roughly.
We could have skipped the first. We could have just skipped to the last 20 minutes, and that would have been a better movie. Just the last 20 minutes would have worked. There was an hour and 10 or hour and 15 minutes of wasted time, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could have cut the entire McCarthyism plotline out of there.
Yeah, that did not need to be there.
Like the whole subplot, because I'm not going to worry about spoilers on this. I'm going to save you all a hell of a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yes, watch the last 10 minutes if you absolutely want to see something interesting from the movie, because it's stupid.
But you've got the senator basically talking to a Hollywood producer, and the Hollywood producer takes him out to a high-end cat house to show him a good time, and it turns out the senator's a scumbag and likes to, kill people. So he murders the girl, and which is sort of part of their whole rigmarole that the cat house runs of, framing people for murder with this chick because she can apparently survive being drowned or whatever, and then fleecing them for cash to dispose of the body. He kills her, or thinks he does, and then basically has the mogul killed so he can cover his tracks. And that's the whole plot of the movie.
Yep.
Yep.
It was not what I thought it was going to be, and it
Well,
wasn't.
that's because-
It wasn't very well explained away either. But
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say about it other than there were I keep thinking of Cast a Deadly Spell. There were so many more practical effects, and it had creature effects with the gremlins and that were making that one engine run badly. There were gremlins in it. That was good. The gargoyle that flies off the house and like follows Lovecraft around in the first movie. That was really cool stuff with creatures. And there was none of that in this movie, really.
No, there's none of that. The tone is completely gone. The atmosphere is completely gone. And then the one thing that could have saved it, if it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all the background jokes in Castle of Deadly Sin? No, it's Castle of Deadly
Cast a
Spell.
Deadly Spell.
Yeah. All the background fucking gags kind of made it even funnier to watch.
Oh yeah.
There's none. There's nothing.
It's that brilliant use of background, foreground, and main focus that a lot of movies have just sort of forgotten about. Byron asks, so would we recommend Cast a Deadly Spell since he's never seen it? Yes, yes, we would.
Yes.
Highly.
Yeah.
You can find it on YouTube, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, if I remember right,
Yeah.
it is on YouTube. Oddly enough, Cast a Deadly Spell was like a HBO original that never got even a box office release. That's kind of why it's kind of obscure and not the easiest thing to find, or hasn't been watched very much. But it was a good movie. I mean, that the first one had, like I said, Fred Ward, Julianne Moore,
Clancy Brown,
Brown,
David Warner.
Yeah, it had good people, and the second movie had some bigger names too. I mean, Dennis Hopper, Penelope Ann Miller was in it. Julian Sands, he was Finn Moxa.
Yeah, Finn Moxa. The senator was
Eric Bogosian.
That's the last name I can remember.
That's who he was. Yeah, that's the second guy.
You know, the best thing I think he ever did, in my opinion, was Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
I can remember him from movies, but I can't think of what they were. He did a lot of stuff in the 90s, but I just don't remember it off the top of my head for some reason. But it had both movies had good casts. It's just this. Who else was in this? He was kind of a bit part in it that Dennis Hopper he hits him with a frying pan in it. Clifton Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in movies all over the place, and I mean, a lot of big names, maybe kind of early in their careers, early start, but this movie was just not a good use of their talent, in my opinion. It was kind of a bad. I don't know if it's necessarily the writing or what. I just don't. There was just something off about the whole thing.
Well, it's the same writer on both of the films. It's the director that changes. Which the first one was Martin Campbell, who did like GoldenEye, Casino Royale. What else did he do? He did.
Oh, you were talking about this earlier too.
Yes. God damn it. Let me find out again.
While you do that, welcome, Pinky Gulf City Salmon.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Pinky.
Hi.
He did the Zorro films.
Zorro. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see, The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan film.
That one was just kind of a ripoff of Collateral Damage with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, but it was still well directed. That again, he's a decent director. He really hasn't made that many shit films.
Well, I guess what I was saying about the director, like the atmosphere and everything being gone. The first, again, comparing to the first movie, which not everybody's seen, but people have seen like detective movies, noir kind of feeling movies. They're dark, they're shadows, they're gritty. You know, if it's nighttime, it looks really dark.
Yeah,
and
90% of the action occurs at night in those sorts of movies.
And this movie, almost 90% of it happens during the day. And even when they do the night shots, it's so overly lit for the background lighting, everything just looks washed out, and it doesn't have any scent. Like even the nighttime shots look like they're almost they have too much light. It's almost like it's daylight out.
It feels more like a set than being out at night because of how much lighting they've got going on.
Yeah, it reminds me of like daytime soap operas with how washed out all the lighting is to me. Like old daytime soaps and stuff. It doesn't look right, and it takes away from the whole feel of the movie. You know, I mean, you'd think that with a movie about magic and mystery and a detective trying to solve things, you'd have some shadows and some mystery to the environment. It's so just. Like if somebody was hiding behind the bushes 100 feet away, you could have seen it in this movie. And the first movie, if somebody was 20 feet away, you wouldn't see them. It just was badly done, in my opinion. And I can't remember, was the director Paul Schaefer, was that his name on the second movie?
He is mostly known for being the writer on Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's considerably better writer than he is director.
Yeah, I would agree. They should have. I think if they'd have had Martin Campbell direct the second movie, I think it would have probably at least looked better.
Yes.
Maybe the story wouldn't have still been maybe they would have still acted kind of wooden.
Well, I mean, acting, honestly, half the time you can probably get the director to sit there and go, no, that's wooden. Fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really felt like the actors were focused mostly on just hitting their marks over anything else.
Yeah. Like when people say it felt like everybody was kind of phoning their roles in to me.
It was on the same level as when we all sit there and do voices for the SCP streams on Arc's channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have no pre-readings or anything, so we're just going in cold, and we're just reading it as it gets to whoever we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this felt like on some of the exchanges.
Yeah. I mean, the only parts that felt kind of not so static, if I had to put it to anybody, Julian Sands or Finn Moxa, he seemed to come across more genuine in his performance and believable. It didn't seem as rigid. I mean, when he said nobody crosses Finn Moxa, you could tell there was some like grit and like nobody crosses Finn Moxa. You know, he had some emotion to him.
Yeah.
The rest of them didn't seem to have that. Their emotions weren't in it. And that's the table reading. Yeah, that's what it was like. Except that they shot the whole movie like that and it was bad.
Yeah. Hopper just seems entirely out of place through the entire film. Hands down at his side, twiddling his fingers, just sitting there like...
Mm-hmm.
The only other person who did even decent acting, in my opinion, is the actress who played Hippolyta.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can't think of her name, but yeah, she was the witch.
Yeah.
And I guess the only other real thing I can think of that was overall the movie was pretty boring. There were 2 points that made me laugh though. And like you said with practical effects, they were some of the only ones in the movie. The zombie, when Dennis Hopper gets the zombie he has bad lateral movement. It gets him to fall sideways. And the effect of the zombie's eyes popping out of his head. That was a practical effect.
Yeah.
And that was funny. That was good. Yep. They both pop out of his head like that. And then you see him laying there and they're obviously laying out on his head, out of the sockets. But that was a good practical effect. And
then it was followed up by a joke, and it kind of just ruined it.
Yeah, it did. But that was one that at least got me to chuckle.
Yes.
And what was the second one now? I forgot.
Bird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At the very end, when
Yeah.
the bird flies. Well, the CGI on the bird flying out of Dennis Hopper's mouth wasn't that good, but the practical effect of it taking Julian Sands' evil eye out of his head, that was the good part of that.
Yeah.
But
It's like they just had a bunch of fake eyeballs laying around and figured, hey, why not? We'll use them.
yeah, those were the 2 points that were at least cool. The rest of the movie was a boring. It was a bore. It really was.
Yeah.
But I had high hopes for it.
Half the scenes even feel like it's not part of the script. It's just the actor sitting there talking.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mint from after the zombie falls over.
Yeah, I mean the he's trying to chase down the owner of that house or whatever to get information out of him, and she's having him. He's getting away from the guards that are going to take him out and kill him or whatever, and she's trying to make a run for it. He makes the zombie fall. He knocks the other 2 guys out, so he's clear to go chase after her. And there's that lady just standing there, and she just goes mint and has a tray of mints. And it cuts to the lady trying to drive away, but then it cuts back. He stopped to eat a mint. If you're trying to catch somebody, you wouldn't stop to eat a mint. Why
not?
leave that in the movie? It was bad.
Like, you can have him stop to eat the mint, but not during the chase.
Yeah, it was during the
No,
chase.
honestly, that's fine, because that means that something happened. Because nothing happened in this fucking film.
That was some of the only comedy in all of it.
Yeah. Or you
Yes.
pointed out the scene where she puts the money in the mirror. Right after that is one of the most awkward scenes, I think, in the movie, where they're arguing over donuts because she has a bag with 2 jelly donuts and a bear claw, and he's like, I want the bear claw. He's like, I want the bear claw. It's like, then why'd you get the jelly donuts?
Yeah, that was.
Ah,
That was terrible. That was terrible. That really was. I did not have.
It's like they just left the cameras rolling for a scene where they were talking about donuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good. Disappointment is definitely the word for this. They should have just renamed it from Witch Hunt to Disappointment. It's really what they should have done. Either that or the quest to find out what Penelope Ann Miller's cup size is, because it changed throughout the movie.
Yeah, like
at
every
one
scene
point
she's in, her boobs are different.
Yeah. At one point, I was like, are they making geometric shapes? Why do they look square? It looked wrong. And that was kind of funny too, but
Well, there's one point where he's talking to her, and they're like a C or a B. They do a flashback. She's got like double D's, and it comes back to the initial scene. She's down to an A cup.
yeah, they're not even the same. It's really strange.
look,
I mean,
they might have taken a little fucking page out of Killer Clowns from Outer Space and just made it so it's inflatables.
I don't know, but that just kept changing throughout I mean, granted, in the first movie, we were making jokes about Julianne Moore's hair changing from being perfect the morning after a night of sex or whatever. Her hair is perfect, and then 20 minutes later, she's in a bathtub. It's a different color, and it's still perfect. And then 20 minutes after that, or an hour later in the movie, her hair's changed back to the original color, and it's still perfect. I mean, it's just weird. I don't understand some of the choices in movies.
Like the hair, you can understand a little bit in the editing, or even explain away with magic. The cup size changing between flashbacks, you really can't explain that away.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. The boob continuity was terrible, Eric Pug. Exactly.
I mean, if we just listen to what we're saying right now, the fact that we are more interested in that than anything that has to do with the story.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that really we were. The movie was bad. We just started finding our own things to try and make some sort of relevance, so it wasn't like we were completely wasting our time. That's the thing.
We were
wasting our time. So, yeah,
and Rock wanted to watch the entire thing.
Because, well, yeah.
Do you regret it now?
No, I don't, because you all had to suffer through it too.
I was fully in the camp of let's finish this piece of shit. At the very least, to have done our due diligence and be done with it.
Yeah, that was Try to blame things on me, Blackout. What's wrong with you?
You told me to get COVID.
You told me to get COVID.
I did not.
Asshole.
Literally,
an
hour ago, you did that.
No, I didn't. I never.
Why would you do that to me, Rat?
But yeah, Witch Hunt, terrible. Don't recommend it. Watch the one before it. Cast a Deadly Spell, fantastic.
Yeah,
but
it's such a great film.
That brings us around to the second part of today's discussion. What's the worst sequel you've ever seen? Like the biggest disappointment? For me, I would have to say Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Okay. I could kind of agree with you there. I really didn't enjoy that movie.
Like, it's not the absolute worst thing I've ever seen, but compared to one or even the other terrible ones in the movie, it's absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, going
You're tapping
from
your mic there, Blackout, and it's coming.
Oh, sorry.
But
no worries.
You're right though. From going from the first Nightmare on Elm Street to the second one, that's a big change, and it's a pretty big disappointment compared to the first one, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right. It's not what I would. It wasn't what I went to when I thought of my biggest disappointment that I could think of. My brain immediately went to Speed 2, Cruise Control. That's where my brain went. I was like, that was a disappointment because the first one was good. I enjoyed it. Even though it's kind of a ridiculous concept, a bus that can't slow down and it has to keep driving around. It was a ridiculous premise from the start, but just it's so on the nose. Cruise control. They're on a cruise ship. Really? Come on.
Well, it was the 90s.
It was terrible. It was terrible. I didn't, and even with Willem Dafoe and everything, it that didn't save it. It really didn't. I did not like that movie. That's one of the biggest disappointments I could think of when I was thinking of them. So I just I don't even have words for it.
I mean, that's the problem with sequels. Like 90% of the time, the sequel's going to be not as good as the original.
Yeah.
Unless the original was shit. Then suddenly you can crank one fucking solid movie out and it's still better than the original.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a good example of that, fucking the Purge films. Purge 1, kind of meh.
Okay.
Sequels, fun action schlock. But when it comes to bad sequels, I mean...
Well, I mean, it's not even just the average bad sequel we're looking for here. We're looking for what's the biggest gap between the original and sequel in terms of quality.
Son of Mask. No, Son of Mask, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice there. That's...
I didn't even think of that. Oh, God. Yeah, that's
bad. Blues Brothers 2000.
See, I'm going to have to disagree with you that. Okay, Blues Brothers 2000 is not fantastic. I still enjoyed the movie.
It's okay, but it's still worse.
Yeah.
It's a lot worse than the original because the original is fucking great.
Yeah,
I would say the gap between The Mask and Son of the Mask is greater. That's an even bigger letdown. I would say
that's damn near the gulf of the entire spectrum of rating a movie.
Yeah. So.
And welcome to Jester, who says fuck sequels and fuck stairs. Fuck stairs.
Fuck stairs. Yeah.
I don't like them. My ankles really don't.
Let's see. Byron mentions Mortal Kombat Annihilation and the upcoming Indiana Jones film, 5. Pinky says for her it was the Star Wars prequels. I didn't absolutely hate the prequels, but I find I like them a lot more now that we've got the Disney Star Wars sequels.
Yeah.
It's like, they could have been worse.
I still think we could have just done away with Jar Jar Binks myself, but
probably.
Look, there's many other films that could fucking not be made instead of wasting it on the sequels. But you have fucking Rogue One. I hate that film. It's a waste of time.
Didn't feel much point in it since
it's such a boring, bland film. Can you name any character from that film?
No.
Esau?
Nope.
I can't.
Not other than Darth Vader, and he doesn't appear till the end.
Yeah, like that movie was like waiting around for Darth Vader to do like 30 seconds of hack and slash.
So basically,
and then it was over.
Basically, like Witch Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting for something to happen. But besides that, well, you have like Legend of Zorro, which is like the one with the kid, and that was kind of a letdown. But still, there's no gap that is quite as fucking extreme as Son of Mask.
Yeah, that's pretty much your gold standard for absolutely terrible sequel.
The Exorcist 2.
Yes, that's also a really bad one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
There's a sequel, there's a prequel, and then there's a third movie, I think.
Yes. Third one is slightly better than the second one.
Because, what was the second one was
Pazuzu,
yeah.
Wow, okay. I knew about, like, I think it was Exorcist the Beginning. Wasn't that the prequel?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of that, but I did not know there was an
Yeah.
Exorcist 2 ever.
Because you've got
Wow.
Exorcist Beginning, Exorcist, Exorcist 2, something of Pazuzu or whatever.
I never even heard of that.
And then
Wow.
I think the third one was Beelzebub.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Pinky says... Pinky and Disky both say Saw was amazing, with the sequels being terrible. I agree. I only liked the first movie, personally.
I like the films up until the fourth one, I believe, because the story is so fucking stupid, and they keep like trying to write that story back into the original story. So they're kind of just finding ways to connect the dots, and it's fun to see how the fuck they're trying to write themselves out of the fucking corner into a new corner.
For me, it's the weirdness of the plot there, like you're talking about, but then also just how stupid the traps got. Like,
Yes.
That just started to bother me.
That was the thing that kind of kept my interest after the first Saw movie was, oh, what are they going to do for new traps, new deaths?
Yes. And
But
that's
the
why
third and fourth movie, I was like, this is not worth my time.
The fifth and sixth one, that's when they got lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fourth one is the last one that kind of still had somewhat of an interesting interesting fucking traps going on.
Well, I mean, which one was the one where you had the person in the grain silo that's filling with corn and sharp implements?
Fifth
Oh,
one?
yeah, I want to say, yeah.
That was the
That's
last
gonna be
time
one
I
of the
saw
bigger
any of
ones.
it, and I was just watching the person be like, "Oh God!" And it's like pitchforks are just sliding down a ramp towards them in a in a grain silo that they're just gonna have to sit there and sort of climb up the corn to not be killed by that. It's just like, this is your trap, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
I have
Okay, they're
not
talking-
seen The Howling 2. I
have seen the Howling 2. I have a soft spot for that film.
I haven't. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's goofy. It's a low budget 70s film that's just 80s horror film that's kind of just dumb. I like it for what it is.
I just thought of one that I don't know, and I'm like, and maybe you guys know, maybe somebody in chat knows. Wasn't there a sequel to Teen Wolf called Teen Wolf 2?
Yes, there was.
I don't know if that was better or not. That's one I never saw, so I have no idea if it's a disappointment or if it was okay or what. I have no idea.
I have seen it. I don't remember anything from it. So take that.
I just know it was terrible. And yes, Pinky, we're talking about specifically just sequels, no reboots.
Yeah, not reboots here. No.
Reboots are a lot of the times kind of shit. But okay, here's another sequel that's fucking terrible. Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, that's one of the worst.
Oh yeah, yeah. I Blair Witch was like this phenomenon, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got to see it." I watched it once and saw an electrical outlet in a house that was supposed to be hundreds of years old, and went, "Oh, bullshit." That was done. I didn't even finish the movie. I mean, it's towards the end. I probably only missed like the last 5 minutes, but I just turned it off. I'm like, nope. This is not found footage. This is bullshit. This is somebody's fucking. This is some college kid's fucking like, low budget guerrilla style film project. It's not real.
Well, again, that was kind of the appeal to it as well.
Yeah, but I heard that they made a Blair Witch 2, and I'm like, how? How is there a sequel to that? How do you even make a sequel to that? I didn't.
Well, technically speaking, they didn't. I mean, when you actually watch it.
Well, technically they did make a sequel to it, but that came as the 2016 one.
Yeah.
Which actually wasn't that bad. It was passable.
But 2 is almost its own story. It's basically they labeled it as Blair Witch 2 to sell it.
Actually, you can compare it to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, where it has nothing to do with Myers at all. It's just a anthology fucking movie.
Yeah, sorry that I brought up Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2. I remember Teen Wolf 1 because that was what's his name?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Why would that's not even close to the same person? Why did I want to say it was Marty Feldman? That's not even close. It's not even.
That would have been an entirely different movie, and I would have watched the hell of it.
It was not even the same actor, but I don't know about Teen Wolf 2 at all. I've never seen it. You guys talking about the Howling reminded me of Teen Wolf, and then I'm like, wasn't there a sequel to that? I don't know if that was bad. So
just thinking of Marty Feldman there, werewolf, there wolf, pointing in a mirror.
Yeah. Marty Feldman was great. Young Frankenstein was an amazing movie, just in general, but they never made a sequel to Young Frankenstein, though, did they?
No. They also never gave us a sequel to History of the World.
That one still needs a sequel.
I wanted Jews in space, damn it.
You know what
I want to see Hitler on ice.
You know what else needed a sequel that never got one? Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money.
Yes.
That needed to happen. They really should have done that.
Well, see, be careful now, because I think someone's opening Pandora's box now with Kung Pao 2.
Well, Odenkirk's been, or was it Oderkirk, has been planning to do a sequel since the first one came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's at least been on the books, and it's not like, we just need more money, so let's reboot this series. It's at least been worked on.
Yeah. Same with the Kung Fu Hustle too.
Well, you say Pandora's box. I loved Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
I do too.
When they said when they suggested a sequel, I was like, I hope that's not a gag. I'd love to watch a sequel to this, because Kung Pao is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I love that movie. It's so dumb, but it's hilarious.
And it takes a little while to sit there and do all that editing, I'm guessing, so.
But yeah. Anyway, back to I can't
Bad
really
sequels.
think I can't think any other bad sequels right off the top of my head. I don't know why. Probably, it's me. I've drawn a blank on everything. So
Well, I looked through a list of bad sequels as well. The thing is, a lot of the time they bring up sequels to bad films, or like lesser comedy films, as an example, like Grown Ups.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, no shit that the sequel's gonna be kind of bad.
Yeah.
Little fuckers, fucking Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
They made a sequel to that?
Yes,
Yep.
they did. 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago.
I didn't even know that. That's probably why I don't know it. There's like,
I think that one went straight to streaming, which is now the new version of straight to DVD, at least until it supplants theaters.
It went to theaters.
It did? Okay.
Yeah. It was in theaters for about 3 weeks.
Disky with, that's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. Do you want fries with that? Kung Pao was great. I love it. He just
it's on
left
Hulu
with nuts.
currently, if anyone's looking to watch it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Well, it's a stoner comedy.
Oh, it is.
But it's one of the greatest stoner comedies. So if you... Our recommendations for this time is Cast a Deadly Spell, Kung Pao, and Kung Fu Hustle.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're bound to find something you like between those three.
Kung Fu Hustle. I think still my favorite part in Kung Fu Hustle is when the bad guy, the master's released, and he's finally fighting him, and he's like, why won't you fight back? And he just keeps pummeling him into the ground, and he just reaches up with that one little piece of wood and goes bink, and just taps him on the forehead, That is the funniest thing because he just starts wailing on him after that. And that is the
Why did
funniest
you
thing
hit
that
me in
movie.
the head?
Yeah, just just a little tap. That is so ridiculous to me. It just makes me laugh. That whole movie is good, but that's my favorite part in Kung Fu Hustle.
Well, I think that brings us roughly to the end of our hour.
I suppose I'm kind of out of stuff to talk about, and I don't know what we should. I like. The trouble is, I don't even know what we were going to watch next. I don't know if we even have plans for it yet.
We do.
We do.
We've been talking about it for about 4 weeks now.
Oh wait, okay. I just remembered. We were gonna. What were?
Yes, go on, Rod.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Was that what we were going to look at, or no?
Holy shit, he remembers.
Yeah.
Oh, was that?
Well, more specifically, we're going to be looking at just good animation, but that's first
that
up
was
on
the
our
idea.
list.
Yeah, we're going to start looking into good animation from movies. That's right.
Yeah, because we've only watched one animated film.
Yep,
with
Rango.
a group. Yeah.
And honestly, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is pretty much your gold standard for animation / real world interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what we could do is do a double feature of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and was it Cool World?
Cool World with Brad Pitt and
Gabriel Byrne.
mhm.
I can't think of her name. I can't think of the girl's name. Oh.
I can only remember the character's name, and that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's the whole tagline, Hollywood if she could.
Kim Basinger.
There we go.
That's her name. I couldn't think of it. Why I couldn't think of it, I don't know.
Byron recommends Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. Yes, that's another Ralph Bakshi film.
Rotoscope movie.
Yes. Bakshi kind of got popular because of his work on the Lord of the Rings animated film from 79, was it?
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, and there were a lot of rotoscoping in that film, and then he kind of started making his own films, such as Coon Skin, Cool World, Fire and Ice. What else did he make? American Graffiti? No, American something like that. Can't fucking remember. But yeah, Bakshi has some weird films that we probably should look at.
Yeah.
He also made Fritz the Cat.
Yep. And if you're watching the show after we've done doing the live stream, please feel free to add into the comments any recommendations for animated movies or even other movies you'd like us to take a look at.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
we've come up with, between the three of us, we've got a pretty good list of stuff that we wanted to watch, but we're always looking for more stuff, and input from other people would be great. So yeah,
particularly
leave a
you,
comment.
our beloved viewers.
Yes.
Which on that note, if you want to support us, our
Please.
Streamline links is down below.
Yep.
Yes, I'm a filthy whore. I know it.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm not paying attention. Sorry, I'm not thinking about that.
But anyway, I guess anyone have anything to promote before we close out?
I mean, I'm on break from SideQuest. I do stuff with Magog and them on their show SideQuest, but I'm not actually sure when we're starting back up. So
It's like the 13th or 14th, I think is what was said.
Yeah, I think so. It's usually on Mondays and Fridays. That's about at like 7 o'clock.
I know it'd be like the 16th then, because that's like next Friday.
Yeah, so you can catch me there on Mondays most of the time. That's about it. Other than that, I can't really think of anything off right now. Why?
Blackout?
Well, I'm currently on vacation, but I most likely will do a couple of Twitch streams throughout the week, and I might show up on someone else's stream. And, well, besides that, there's not much going on my end.
All right. And for my stuff, Honestly, you can catch all three of us usually on Director Arcater's channels, doing his SCP and article weights on Thursday and Saturday, respectively. Beyond that, I think that's pretty much it. If you're looking for something to watch after us, we recommend Stress Test with Director Arcater and Miss Steam. If Rat could get that link and put it into the chat at some point.
Oh, yeah, if I could, huh? Wow, sorry. Oh, terrible.
No, it's fine.
Should have thought of that beforehand, but...
Well, usually I'm the one that does it, so... But
Yeah,
today
well...
I'm running the stream. It's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I'm also on my tablet, so I don't have... I don't want to bug things out.
I'm going to poke you in the face with the mouse so that everyone can see. That's what you get for forgetting.
Yeah, I knew I forgot. I forgot something. So, but yeah, Stress Test and
Where's
the
where's the professionalism, Rod?
Oh, yeah, come on, come on. I have trouble remembering my own name sometimes.
Yes, the Reservoir Slobs, the known epitome of professionalism for streaming.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
totally us. Yes.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything. So we will catch you guys next time. Thank you all for watching. Later.
Yeah. Take care.
Cheers.